And if you're looking to increase your cash flow, this is something you're definitely going to want to do. What's up everyone, welcome back to Free to Be, David here, and in today's video I'm going to be covering 5 things you can do to increase your monthly cash flow. Now all 5 of these are pretty important, so make sure you stay tuned for the entire video. Now before we get started, as always, if you are new to this channel, please take a moment and click the subscribe button down below. I cover financial literacy here on this channel, as well as capturing my progress to financial independence, and hopefully by doing that, I'm creating a blueprint with valuable information that others can use as well. And if you're not new and joining me again, thank you so much. I really do appreciate the continued support. All right, so in today's video, I'm going to quickly go over 5 things you can do to increase your monthly cash flow. Because in times of uncertainty, in times of craziness and chaos in the world, we need to figure out ways that we can increase our cash flow so that we can optimize and maximize our saving, our investing, and our emergency funds. This way, we're a little bit more financially stable in case things really fall apart. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do to help increase cash flow, and yes, there's ways to do it where you can cut expenses and all that, but the first thing you're going to want to do is increase your income. So you can do this in a few ways. Yes, you can start your own business. Yes, you can try to figure out a side hustle, but the first and easiest way to do this is evaluate your current income. Because if you are working for an employer, there are ways to increase your take-home pay right now. And the first thing you're going to want to do is kind of dig in and investigate what you're paying in taxes, because maybe you are actually paying for a little bit more than you actually need to. So do a check and see what what's being withheld for federal, local, state taxes, then kind of go in and try to figure out what deductions are being made from your pay and determine if those are really the right ones. Because if they're not, you can fill out a new W-4 with your employer and get that adjusted accordingly. So the next thing you can do is then go ahead and look into some of your benefits that you're enrolled in, and are there any that you're not using? Maybe you're enrolled in the top tier of your insurance plans available, and maybe there's something that's a lower tier that you can roll into that'll save you 30, 50 bucks a month. So look into and evaluate those things. If you do work hourly, maybe you can ask if there's any overtime opportunities available. Try to increase your income with the current employer you have first, before then exploring options like starting a business or trying to figure out ways to monetize things that you already do. And those are also viable options. Trying to boost your income is more than just going out and getting a second job. You have to really explore the resources that you kind of have in place already. And then once you've exhausted those, yes, you can go and try to see if you can get a second job or build your own business. But the key here is to try to get in as much income through the door, because that'll really help your cash flow. Because again, cash flow involves having money on hand after you get your take-home pay and you take out all your expenses. So first and foremost, you want to make sure that the most amount of money possible is coming through the door. Now, the second thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut your expenses. And this is something that I've covered in many of my videos, and I'll link some of them above and maybe some below. But basically, evaluate what you're spending your money on that maybe is not essential. So are you subscribed to multiple streaming services for music and you don't need all of them? Are you still paying a crazy amount of money monthly on a cable subscription when you're watching 3 channels? Evaluate all your expenses and try to cut down on anything that is not essential to your life. Because that, again, if your overhead is X amount of dollars and your take home is X amount of dollars, you want to make sure that that overhead is as small as possible so that your cash flow runs through it and you actually end up with a positive cash flow and a lot of it at the end of the day. Now, the third thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pay down your debt, because interest payments do kill cash flow. And if you have a situation where you have revolving debt or some kind of loan that has a 10, 12% interest rate, that's really going to dig into your bottom line. So take this time and try to pay down those debts before you start worrying about maybe increasing your income potential. Pay down the debt, because that kind of works as a double-edged sword for you, because it also brings down your overhead, but it also then increases your cash flow by doing that, because then you don't have to make the interest payments, and it just benefits you not to have any debt in the first place. So take the time, focus on paying down that debt because that'll really help you increase your cash flow. Now, the fourth thing you're gonna wanna do is refinance any debt that you can refinance. So if you have a large home loan, or even if you have credit cards that have high interest rates, you might be able to refinance those or consolidate some of that stuff to a way lower interest rate, which will save you potentially hundreds of dollars a month in payments. So if you're able to refinance at lower interest rates, do that, because ultimately, again, that will decrease your overhead and increase your cash flow. So this is a great time to maybe look at your mortgage. If you've been paying your mortgage on time and you've had a mortgage for a few years, interest rates right now are very, very low. So look into maybe refinancing your home loan and getting that interest rate down a few points, because that's really the easiest way to save a few hundred extra dollars a month on payments that could be used elsewhere. And finally, the fifth item on the list is to decrease your expenses even more by figuring out which ones are recurring and can be avoided. So maybe you have 3 cars in your family, but only have 2 drivers. Do you need to have the third car? If you're making payments on that car, that's a recurring expense that you can eliminate that will save you hundreds of dollars a month. You know, not only are you then going to save money on the car payments, you're going to be saving money on the gas, you're going to be saving money on the insurance, and eliminating one thing like that will save you in 3 or 4 different places. So think about things that you can eliminate out of your life like that are recurring costs. Again, take some time and evaluate all of your recurring expenses. Look at things that might have impacts on several different parts of your life. So again, like the car example, it's going to save you money on gas, it's going to save you money on insurance, and maybe you're paying parking. It could save you on so many different ways. So evaluate that stuff and cut out the recurring expenses as much as possible, because that's really an easy way to boost that cash flow. All right, guys, well, that's all I had for this video. I kept it relatively short because I do know it's a holiday weekend and I want you all to go out and enjoy the sun as much as possible. Have a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend. If you did enjoy this video, let me know in the comments down below and give me a like. If you're new to the channel and haven't done so already, please go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. Your support does really mean a lot to me, and we'll see you next time.